Oh, this one's gonna be legendary. We're fired up, we're tuned up, and we are ready to send it. Señor, are you all settled in? Love to see it. Thumbs up all around. Well, shall we get this show on the road? Fantastic. Without further ado, Hamm Planet Podcast, episode number 4, is prepared for takeoff in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Top of the morning, folks. Good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Hamm Planet Podcast. I'm your host, Peter Hamm, and I'm pretty hyped to say that today is a historic episode on the Hamm Planet Podcast. We have the distinguished honor of having our first ever professional athlete on the good old Hamm Planet Podcast. Hopefully the first of many, but we are coming out of the gate strong with one of the finest men I know. It is a great honor for me to introduce our speaker today. He is the type of guy that steps up to the plate in life and on the field. He's a one-of-a-kind guest, and I'm very thankful to say that today's guest has been a great friend of mine ever since we were kiddos. We go back, and we grew up in good old Mansfield, Texas together, and it's an awesome thing that he is still a good friend of mine to this day. He proudly represents the good old Crowder Rough Riders and Shocker Nation of Wichita State. He is a man who knows how to smack a baseball into the stadium stands. There's no doubt in that. And his incredible story and his incredible journey really speaks volumes to his perseverance and his passion for the game of baseball. He's got the heart of a lion. He's a proud American. He's a proud Texan. And he's a proud soon-to-be husband. Without further ado, the man of the hour, Mr. Sam Hilliard. Sam, how we doing, brother?
Hey, thanks for having me, Señor. Great to be here. Like I tell you all the time, man, we've been waiting for this day for you to start a podcast. Glad you finally did it, and I'm super thankful you asked me to join. I know you're going to kill it, dude.
I love it. And it's great to have you, brother. You know, when I started the Hamm Planet Podcast, I began to think, who are the people in my life who I always have a damn good time with? And I'm happy to say that you were one of the first on that list, Señor. So it's an honor. And I know we've got a fantastic podcast ahead of us. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I got a million questions I could ask you, Señor. But I feel like this is going to be a good one to get the old cranium juices flowing. So you've had quite the journey in regards to your baseball career. And maybe everyone out there doesn't know about that entire journey that you've went through, because it's taken you all over the United States. It's taken you to different towns. It's taken you to different teams. And I know it wasn't easy. So I'm sure we could write a novel on this question. But, Señor, go ahead and tap us in to the Sam Hilliard baseball journey. And I guess a great place to start would be, how did you fall in love with baseball, and when did your passion for baseball really come to life?
Man, so, gosh, you're right. I could talk for hours, but passion for baseball began the first time I ever played. Growing up, I always knew it was the sport for me. I was always pretty good at other sports, but I just always had, this love for baseball. Genuinely,
pretty good
deeply,
pretty good hooper back in the day.
Back in the day. Now I'm garbage. But anyways, so, just always had a love for the game, and I knew that it was the sport I was the best at. And honestly, I didn't know that I had the ability to play professionally at the highest level until I got into college. because I was kind of a late bloomer. So I always knew I wanted to play as long as I could. And I went to college. My first year at junior college, like I didn't have any offers anywhere else except for one JUCO. Went there just to continue the dream and just be with the boys and play. Like that's what we love to do. Just get on the field and compete.
Play the game you love. Yeah.
Exactly. Like how it is. You're a rugby guy, so it's kind of insane. But
love of the game,
dude. So around my sophomore year of college, like I kind of fully started developing and got drafted as a pitcher out of junior college. And then next year I went to Division I at Wichita State. Go Shockers. And
Shocker Nation, let's go. Let's fire up.
Shocker Nation.
Great program.
Yeah. And dude, I don't know. I just had some good coaching and just kind of started swinging the stick. I started putting up numbers offensively, and the Rockies took a flyer on me in the 15th round as an outfielder. And dude, I knew, I wasn't drafted high, but I knew, like, right when I got to pro ball, like, I can do this because I saw the talent around me, and I knew that I personally felt like I was the best player on the field every time I stepped foot on there. And I feel like that's the mindset you gotta have. 100%, dude. And it's just been, I was never a huge prospect or anything like that, but I could talk for days about my journey through the minor leagues, but no one wants to hear about that. They want to hear about the big leagues. And so, dude, 5 years later, I made my debut in August of 2019. And
yes, sir.
I mean, we haven't played baseball since the end of last season because of freaking Corona. But yeah, dude, it's been a crazy ride.
Indeed, Señor. It absolutely has been a crazy ride, a wild ride. And to me, it honestly just seems like it was just yesterday that we were at good old Jail Boren off Walnut Creek. And, fast forward 2 decades, now you're playing in the major leagues, you're with the Rockies, you're doing great. And there's been a lot that's happened during those 2 decades. You've played at various colleges. You've played at more minor league teams than I can count. And, you've put tons of hours in of work, and there's been times where maybe you didn't know if you're going to make it to the next level, or maybe you didn't know if you were good enough, and so on and so forth. But you were, and you are. And couldn't be more happy to see where you are today. And I know you're part of a great organization with the Rockies. And the most beautiful thing of all, though, is that the story of Samuel Hilliard is really just getting started. It's really just getting started, and that's what gets me most hype. And in my opinion, that's the most beautiful thing of it all, is that the best is yet to come, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, no doubt about it. I believe the same thing. It's just getting started and just coming up through the minor leagues and finally getting to the big leagues. I think every single baseball player who's been through the same journey that I have says, I'm not going back. Like, right when you get there, you're like, I ain't going back. Like, screw that. Because it's truly amazing. Like, the amount of difference between AAA and the big leagues is, the grind of the minor leagues is a true beast. Like, it's
absolutely. I feel like a lot of people really don't know how intense they put the minor league players through such a grind to, weed out the most exceptional talent. And it's like, it's a lot. I remember you calling me and being like, brother, I'm on a 10-minute or a 10-hour bus ride, and I'm driving through like Idaho, and we just played this tune. And
dude,
I played good, but we got a game tomorrow. And bro, they keep y'all moving and grooving, and they put y'all through a lot. It's
no doubt, dude. It's very physically tasking, but it's also very mentally tasking, because I mean, baseball is a type of sport, and I know every sport has its different challenges, but if you fail 7 times out of 10 at the highest level, then you're considered great. So So that part alone is very mentally challenging. But whenever you're in the minor leagues, and dude, one of our longest road trips, whenever I first got drafted in rookie ball,
Yeah.
it was 16 hours. We went from Colorado to Helena, Montana. And
Jesus
know,
Murphy,
if you put that in,
Montana.
If you
Great
put
place.
that in your maps, it'll probably say a little less than that, but we were on a freaking bus with some old dude driving like 20 miles an hour in the speed limit. So, and it's just, we had people bringing yoga mats, laying on the floor, bringing hammocks, trying to hammock in the bus. But it wasn't a sleeper bus. It was just like a normal charter bus. So
it ain't no Ritz-Carlton.
It's not Ritz-Carlton. No, it's not. Dude, but it's just like things like that you got to grind through. And I truly believe that playing junior college baseball, it's not glamorous whatsoever. It's not in the limelight. You got to really, the circumstances are not ideal for a baseball player. I kind of dealt with that for 2 years, and I feel like I kind of had the upper hand versus guys that were coming out of high school or coming out of giant Division I programs. They weren't used to that type of stuff. And so I was easily, adapting to it. And just the 16-hour bus rides is like, man, I'm in professional baseball. As long as I get to play, like, let's go. I'm fired up. Like, I'm down. It doesn't matter.
Oh, yeah. And once you say, like, currently now, you think about all of those times, all that kind of shit you went through. That was extremely difficult and extremely tasking mentally, physically. And that's a major component to what keeps you the fire burning bright and the passion stronger than ever.
100%, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's really easy to think back about those times because they weren't that far away. There's a couple years ago, so you're like, man, I easily remember that. And it's just a simple fact of like, yeah, it made me better and like, but I don't want to go back to that because the traveling sucks and like the hotels and the all that stuff, it just sucks. So that's like a huge motivator right there. It's just the fact that, man, this is really nice. I don't want to go back. Yeah, been there, done that. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I don't want to go back.
Amen, brother. And I mean, I feel like that's something that can really relate to everyone's life. They can think about where you are in your current position, and then think about a time in your life where you really were battling and you were struggling and you were maybe, chasing a dream, chasing a championship, or chasing opportunity, and shit went easy, but it's better right now than it used to be. You got to think about that. I think that's very relevant to your career, brother. And one thing I do want to ask is, the journey's been long, and you mentioned you've had a lot of great people and coaches that have helped tremendously along the way. What's one of the coaches that has really impacted you the most, and how has he impacted you so greatly?
Man, so a coach that really just comes to mind his name's Travis Lallemand, and he was the head coach at my junior college in Neosho, Missouri, and the junior college is called Pratt. So, I mean, it was just my second junior college. It was my sophomore year. I was coming in, transferring from another one, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But this guy just kind of had he's a hard ass. Kind of had like a military style type approach to coaching, and
I like that. That's what
dude,
gets me fired up.
For me, it takes I think a kick in the ass and blood, sweat, and tears, and bringing a team together through suffering. Really, there's nothing that brings a squad of men together more than that. And so, like,
damn right.
The fall, like, baseball's played in the spring, so the fall is when we do our intense off-season workouts. We had this workout regimen called post-fall, and it was just about 4 weeks of grueling, like, just ridiculous workouts that don't even make sense, but you're just doing them because they're going to make you puke. And, if you don't complete it, you fail your teammate next to you and your brother. and you don't want to be that guy. So it's like truly one of those experiences where I can say that I was pushed to limits I wasn't aware that I had. And
he instilled that.
Just brought out, he instilled that, and it brought out a different part of me that I didn't know I had. And I truly think that's whenever my baseball career started to take off. But whenever you get on the field with those guys that you puked in trash cans next to and bled and cried next to, like, seriously. You don't want to fail that guy. And you're on the field and you're like, this guy's my brother. Like, we've gone through the same thing. I don't want to fail. And we ended up winning almost every game that year. It's an unfortunate event led to us not making the World Series. But we were one of the best teams in the nation, and it's junior college. But, dude, people knock JUCO, but I have a lot of great things to say about it.
A lot of talent in JUCO.
Yeah, man. And that guy just instilled a different type of work ethic in me that I didn't know that I was capable of. I continue, I think, to carry to this day. It continues to help me.
That's awesome. Does he still coach out there?
Yeah, man. He's still the coach out there, and he's done a lot for that program. Shout out to Crowder Baseball, dude.
Shout out Crowder Baseball. Hell of a team.
They have a facility now. It's an indoor, baseball facility with a weight room and everything. Nicer than a lot of Division I programs, and that's due to the work that dude's put in and his coaching staff. Man, they just freaking get after it, and they mold kids into men like it's nobody's business. So that's what they do over there.
You love to see that. You really do. And there's so many great schools and schools that really have some phenomenal coaches and teachers and mentors that are literally some of the best in the world, and not a lot of people know about them. And it's a damn good feeling to be a part of one of them really pushing you to the brink. And I can relate, brother.
Yeah,
I can relate.
Going through baseball and just the different levels, it really kind of opens your eyes to, it's like you meet people that you wouldn't meet otherwise going up through the minor leagues and just through college baseball. Like you said, there's just hidden gems everywhere, man. Like, I've met some of the most phenomenal people. I know I was talking a little crap on the minor leagues, but it's got some of my most fond memories and
absolutely
precious friendships, and just like the best coaches I've ever met. So, a lot of times you got to go through a bunch of crap to meet some really incredible people. And I know you know that, but yeah.
Hey, it's the truth. It is the truth. Brother Sam, another question for you. So, I know you smacked quite a few home runs last year. I want to know, walk me through and get as animated as you want or can. How did the first home run feel? What was that moment like? What was going through your mind? What was going through your body? I know Hunter was there, the rest of the boys, the family, the squad was there. Everyone in Mansfield was tuning in. What was going on within Sam Hilliard during that great moment?
Yeah, the first big league homer, man. To be honest, I don't remember, after hitting it, I remember making contact with the ball. Boom. I knew it was gone right when I hit it. It's one of the best feelings in the world. If you haven't tried it, you should. But made contact, knew it was gone. And then the next thing I remember, I was stepping on second base, and I was just telling myself, don't trip. I was like, just don't fall. Because at that moment, I started feeling my knees shake, and I was like, you might fall. But don't fall.
Like the intense shakies.
The intense, just restless, shakies.
Bro, and, I know. I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just like the total. I mean, the thing is, it was a total blackout moment, except for stepping on second base. my brain just went completely shut off. I don't know why, but it could have been because of the adrenaline. It could have been, I don't know. But next thing I remember after that was coming into the dugout and just being mauled by the boys.
They were fired up.
Yeah, and then that's all I remember. So I remember squaring it up, stepping on second, and that's it. So I don't have very much information to offer for that particular homer because brain just went into it.
You offered all the information you could. It was so great that you blacked out.
Yeah, but I've definitely went back and watched it several times since then. And
I have too.
Man, my favorite part is when the camera pans to my best friends Shane, Eric, and Hunter, and my family in the stands, and they
beer splashing everywhere.
Yeah, I was 0 for 3 at that point. No, I was 0 for 2, and I wasn't having a good game. I made an error in the field, and so like at that point, it was kind of a disastrous major league debut. And then it was my last at bat of the game. We were getting killed by the Red Sox, and I just like hit. In the grand scheme of the game, it was kind of like a meaningless home run because we still got beat pretty bad. But you could just tell like the camera panned, and they were just like a mall session, just a wrestling. Like Shane just tackled Eric and Hunter, and
they were getting rowdy.
Makes me smile big time,
bro. It will always make me smile for
years and years. Dude. You should have been there.
I know I should have, and I'm pissed I wasn't.
You're a busy man. I understand.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm coming to a game this year.
Maybe not this year because of the.
I'm sneaking in. I'm gonna put on my Rona suit.
Hey, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that San Francisco Giants, they're allowing their fans. They're like, hey, you can pay $100. And we can put like a cardboard cutout of you in the stands for the games because there's not going to be fans, but they're going to be on TV. So maybe you could.
Are you shitting me?
Maybe you could hit it up. No, I'm not. I mean, I don't know if that's true.
I'm not doing that.
Told me that.
I don't want to be seen in those stands. I'm not a Giants fan. I'm a Colorado Rockies fan and a Rangers fan.
Good answer. Good answer.
That's a true answer. Which is
a true answer. And hey, I got respect for that. You know, the Rangers fandom. I grew up a Rangers fan, but now it's time to abandon that and go complete.
It's Rocky Nation.
Yeah, Rocky Nation, forever.
Honestly, they're a damn good team, and it's one of my dad's favorite teams. So I've grown up watching a lot of Rockies games, and my dad loves just Colorado in general. And my dad's a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
Played in college. Played catcher. My dad was a sick catcher.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. He played minor league ball. I'm forgetting the team, but yeah, Colorado, it runs in the blood. So I'm happy you're there, Samuel. Very happy you're there.
Heck yeah.
Brother, so get a little deep on this one. If brother Sam, Señor Sam, Samuel's son, Hilliard's son, could turn back the clocks to when he was 18, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell him?
Wow.
Loaded
when I was
question.
18, man.
18 Samuel.
I would tell myself, hey, listen, you little idiot. This is what I would first say.
You're being nice. I would call myself something worse.
I would say, man, be patient because it's not going to be like that. Like you're still in the process of growing up. Like you're not even close. I still am to this day, to be honest. But I would say, man, I know baseball is your dream, and it's not going to happen like that. You have a crazy bumpy road ahead of you. You are going to meet some incredible people. You're going to grind. You're going to meet an incredible woman that you're going to marry. And
Absolutely.
I would just say, like, don't get
Soak
used
it
to
in.
one spot, because you're going to be bouncing around. You're going to go from one college to the next every year, 3 colleges in 3 years.
Yep.
And you're going to find something's going to click, and it's going to click at the right time. I'm not trying to jinx it or anything, 18-year-old Sam, but
Be confident in that.
Believe it. Believe in yourself, and just know that you're capable of competing at the highest level. Maybe not now, but you will be if you continue to put the work in. And I mean, at that age, I didn't know what work ethic or anything like that truly meant. But I would say, but you will. You'll figure it out.
I love it, brother.
Yeah.
It's kind of, that's a question I kind of think about all the time. And, you know, it would be a great thing to do, to be able to do that and go back.
That'd be cheating.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, and there'd have to be some crazy science involved. But always a good Hamm Planet podcast question.
That is a good question, man. I would have a lot of others. Yeah, like you said, maybe insults, maybe harsh words.
Oh, yeah.
We can save that for another conversation.
Yeah, I'd probably use some colorful language, get myself in check.
Yeah.
Get a little intense. Well, sometimes what you need.
Hey, I knew
Especially at that
18-year-old
age.
Petey. And that
was a good guy.
Good guy, good intentions, but some serious
savage.
He was a serious savage, and we had the greatest times ever, man. So I don't know. I wouldn't say anything. So you might have something else to say, but I would say keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's no problems at 18, brother. Was about to be a good old Baylor Bear.
Yeah. I mean,
so I was honestly, when I was 18, I was honestly from the age of 16 to 18, I was pretty tight knit, or 17 to 18. I was kind of tight knit, definitely for those 2 years, because that's when I really, really started to embrace being a leader and being a guy who wants to have good intentions in the world and not just be, you know, the goofy, crazy, hilarious guy in the bunch. You know, I started to figure out then that, okay, I've got some things that I'm really passionate about. I got some things that I want to do in life. And it all started to kind of come together, but definitely a long, windy road, but
right. And
you had where it is. Yeah.
You had your vision set, and you were definitely a good guy. We both were, but we got into some trouble. That's what I meant. We got into some trouble together when we were 18, 17, and you know, some things we probably shouldn't talk about. Nothing crazy, but I mean, it's what 18, 17-year-olds do. So, you know,
we had some valuable learning experiences. And, you know, I'll be honest, I think there's a lot of advantages to making certain types of mistakes, I guess I'd say. When you're a younger guy, when you're, you know, kind of in that high school, early college age, it's okay to kind of stumble a little bit. Then obviously you're not doing some crazy shit that might do some damage, but you're going to fail. You're going to learn that there's some things maybe you shouldn't do, and there's some things that you probably should do a lot more of. And that's definitely, I would definitely reiterate that to myself if I could go back.
Yeah. Hey, failure is the best teacher.
Amen.
That's a fact.
Amen. That's a big fact.
Yeah.
Well, Brother Samuel, what would you say is one of the most important things you learned in life? And what was your life like? Let me add this. What was your life like before you learned this thing that was the most valuable lesson of your life? And then what was your life like after you learned it?
Well, I think it would just kind of be going back to kind of what we've been talking about is with the time in the year that I learned what it truly took and what it truly meant to work and to get after it and to put your mind to something that you truly want and to what it takes to achieve success in the field that you see yourself doing, like in my dream,
Absolutely.
Which is baseball, what it took for me to achieve that. And before that, I would say I was a kid who had fun and had a pretty good amount of talent, and I always got by, skated by. Sometimes I would perform really well, sometimes I wouldn't. I wouldn't really know why, but it was just like I was having fun with my boys playing baseball, the game that I love. And then it truly took a turn at the year at Crowder that I was speaking about earlier, where it was like, okay, I finally started to learn this is what makes you good. This is what hurts you. Not only
this is
on
what
the field,
can take you to the next level.
Right. Not only on the field, but off the field. And I started to play against really good talent. I started to learn, like, okay, like if I keep doing it this way, like I can truly compete against the best talent. And I would say after I learned that, man, it just like, it's something that never stops. You have to keep doing it, especially at this level. There's no relying on talent. I mean, some people might be able to do it, but for most,
not
like
really.
me, I mean, you can't just rely on talent alone. You have to constantly be.
Everyone's got a lot of talent.
Everything. Yeah, everyone has so much talent. It's the most talent in the world. And you have to be focused
mind-blowing.
On your routine every day, what time you go in the cage, like working out, lifting weights, rolling out your soft tissue stuff, like your sleep schedule, what you eat. And it's stuff that when you're in high school and your first years of college, like, you don't care about that. Like, you just want to go play the game you've always played the way you've always played it. But now it's like, okay, if I don't do this, I'm not going to feel prepared. And that's one of the most single important things I think in baseball for me is whenever I'm playing and I'm in the batter's box, if I feel like I'm more prepared than the pitcher, because it's truly like when you're in the box, it's one-on-one, man. It's like this guy versus me.
Right.
It's like if I feel like I'm prepared and I'm more prepared than that guy, it gives me the confidence to do what I need to do. But if I'm up there and I'm like, I haven't watched film on this guy, I've never seen this guy, I don't know what this guy does, I don't know what his pitch does, you're screwed. So it's all about the mindset walking into the box. But I'm kind of getting away from the original question. But dude, it's just, I would say the most important thing that I've learned is that just what it takes to become a professional and the day in and day out work that I have to do. And it's not easy. It kind of sucks sometimes. But knowing how important it is and knowing what it takes for you as an individual, because everyone's different. I would say that.
Brother, I love it. And, one thing you really hit on is that a huge and the major aspect of it is that it's really what happens off the field that takes you from that good to great level. And it's just a multi-facet sort of training approach that you got to take to elevate yourself. And, I respect that. And that sort of kind of optimization to be a better self is something not only baseball players can implement, all types of athletes can implement, all types of business professionals. And,
Yeah. And going back to like what you said, off the field stuff, man, one thing I realized later in my baseball career, how important it was like visualization techniques. And I mean, you can apply this to anything, whether it be a sport or in the business world or whatever. Visualization for me is one of the things that really helped me in my career the most. I remember at my junior year at Wichita State, go Shockers,
Go Shockers. Shocker Nation.
Our coach gave us this packet, and it was about a story of some guy who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And before then, dude, I had nothing to do with visualization. I was like, just go out there, see ball, hit ball, you know? It doesn't matter who I'm facing that day. And I just didn't really prepare that much. And it was a story about this guy who was a prisoner of war, and he was like a below average golfer back in the States. You know, he liked golf, but he wasn't that good. And he was a prisoner of war for 5 years. And the thing that he kept from making himself go completely crazy was visualizing himself playing his favorite golf course every single day, multiple times a day. And so he would like see himself, okay, lining up the ball, hitting it, taking every step. It was going to be a perfect shot every time he hit it, taking every step to the ball, pulling his glove out, hit everything that you would do, but he was hitting a perfect shot every time. And 5 years later, he got released, and he went in his first round back from being a POW without playing. He improved his game by 15 strokes. And I mean, I wish I could provide some sort of like name or some sort of source for that story, but
I'm sure we can find it. I mean, type in Vietnam. You said, Vietnam golf
POW.
Prisoner.
And dude, but my coach is a trustworthy guy. I mean, he's not going to print out like some BS packet. And after that, I was like, "You're freaking kidding me! There's no way." And then I started trying to dabble with it, and then now, truly now, I understand the power that visualization has. I mean, if you see yourself have success before you do it, it just increases your confidence and your chances of actually making it happen. And it just makes me feel so much more prepared, man. And I mean, like, I would advocate anybody, like, that's one of the most important things in my game. And it's not just for baseball, it's for life, for sure.
Amen to that, brother. That is, I don't know if truer words have been spoken on the Hamm Planet podcast, but envisioning things has been something I've relied on too. And, you know, and when I do it in rugby, it's one thing I would always do is when I played 8-man, and I played a variety of positions, but particularly in this position, I would envision myself, you know, I'm scoring. Like, I'm going to grab the ball after the scrum, and I'm putting it in. Don't give a shit if who's in my way. Don't care if someone's going to try and tackle me. I'm seeing it. I'm believing it. I'm making it happen. And I began to translate that to my life, started to say like, oh, okay, well, if I can see things come to fruition on the rugby pitch and the game I play, maybe I can do that in real life. And it's not an easy thing to kind of grasp with because sports it's a different type of test. But I think utilizing that vision and applying it to every aspect of your life is an awesome thing to do. Me and Sam, huge advocates of it.
Huge advocates.
Huge advocates, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast is brought to you by the huge advocates for utilizing your life vision. Visit utilizingyourlifevision.com and use the code Señor and Señor for 50% off. Utilize your vision.
That's a good deal.
That's a hell of a deal.
You're losing money if you don't do it. Seriously. It's a good deal.
Yeah, definitely losing money. It's
I mean, come on.
Excellent course. Excellent course.
Yeah. So one more thing about the visualization before we move on, Señor.
I want to hear it, Señor.
One thing that the Rockies have in the big leagues is this float tank. And it's a tank where it's completely soundproof, light-proof, completely pitch black, and there's like a foot of salt water. And you look at it and you're like, there's no way I'm going to float. It's too shallow. And then you lay down and you just go right to the top. And so you lay in there for about an hour, and it's truly one of the only times in life where you don't have any distractions because you can't feel anything. It feels like you're floating. And
it kind of doesn't feel like normal water, right?
No, it's weird. It's like
just the buoyancy
it feels like you're floating in space because there's no light, no sound. It's not normal water. You just go right.
Y'all have awesome shit in the pros. I love it. You'll need it.
Pretty cool. Yeah, but so it's one of the, or maybe the only time in life where there's truly been no distractions whatsoever, and you can really, really let your mind like go and just explore.
What are the name of these pods again?
I couldn't tell you.
They use salt water, right? A float tank.
Yeah, they use salt water, and it's like a little door you go in that's like really small, so you kind of got to crawl in there.
Yeah, it's like a little spaceship type thing.
But I just remember
shoots off a rocket.
Yeah, and I just remember laying in there and really like I went and watched film of the pitcher we were facing that night last year, and I went in there and tried to visualize myself facing him. And it was the one time in my life I could really say it, I felt like I was actually doing it because there was nothing distracting my mind. It was really just like feeling the true power of my mind. And that night I went out and I had a really good game. And the next night I went out and had a really good game. And I just truly believe that, I mean, I know a lot of people don't have access to a freaking float tank, but dude, it's just like, I'm going to utilize that so much for the rest of my career if I can. I thought it was one of the coolest things ever.
I've heard such great things about those, and I definitely want to do one. And, you know, meditation is something that I've gone on streaks in my life where, okay, I've been doing a lot of meditation and then I'm not doing it, and then I'm doing it and I'm not. But I've been doing it lately, and I would love to do it in a float tank, which I'm gonna look into that. Maybe that'll be my little Fourth of July present. But
yeah,
what I do is I just pick one thing like around me, and then I put my phone on airplane mode. Pick this one thing around me. Set my timer for 10 minutes, and it can be anything. It could be a leaf. It could be a leaf. I could be walking Rocky. It could be a leaf. And I'll just try and stare at it for 10 minutes and just try and like not let any other thoughts come into my mind except the current present moment. And it's been a good form of meditation. Hey, and it's free. So I think meditation is something that everyone should try and squeeze into their day. And
I agree.
If you can do it in a float tank, definitely find a float tank.
I use the app called Calm. Have you heard of that app? Yeah.
I've heard of it. I haven't really used it. Is it solid?
It's pretty solid. I mean, they have like daily meditation exercises, and the thing that I really like about it is they have like sleep stories. You can have like Matthew McConaughey telling you a bedtime story.
I'm sold.
And, dude, he's talking about space. You can count me out in about 2 seconds.
McConaughey is great.
McConaughey.
We were talking about him too. Oh yeah, yeah. I saw him. I heard him in the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to dive more into Calm because, I like my staring at a leaf approach, but it would be nice to have a little help.
Hey, the leaf approach sounds good. I mean, it's free, and you're really using the power of your own mind. You're not relying on anyone else. So I think that
I hate when a shitty car drives by, though. It's like an old one when I'm doing it, and it's kind of, a little loud. But
or the hound sees a squirrel.
Yeah, the hound will see a squirrel, and that'll interrupt. But it's all good tests of the mind. That's for sure. Señor, you got engaged recently to an amazing woman. Kat, love her. Hyped for you. Hyped for both of y'all. Great couple.
Thanks, sir.
Brother, how you and Kat meet? Give us a little love story. Tune us in. We haven't had any romance on the podcast, so I know the listeners are gonna love it.
Well, if you're looking for a really romantic story about how we met, you will not find it here because
take it where you want it.
Okay, I can make something up.
Don't make anything up.
Okay, so
tell me a little bit about Kat.
Yeah. So basically we met, she went to Martin, which is a rival high school of our high school, Mansfield, but it's in a different city. So it's not like, we live probably 20 minutes away. And
Hop, skip, and a jump down 360.
Yeah, 287, 360, whatever you want. I prefer 287. But
both solid.
So a lot of guys that I played with in my select baseball organization went to her high school, so I'd hang out with them on the weekends, and they would hang out with her too. So that's kind of how I met her. But she had a boyfriend through college, and so we kind of, my very first off season, 2015 in the fall, in the winter.
Yep.
I hung out with some of my buddies who I had always grown up playing baseball with, and she was there, and we just hit it off. We saw each other, and we just kind of hung out that whole night, and we hit it off, man. I knew something was there, and I got her number and asked her on a date. We went on a date.
Where'd you go on a date?
We went to Rave. It's not a rave. It's a movie theater called Rave. And it's like one of those movie theaters where they bring you food and alcohol, and like you sit in a recliner. So
I love those.
I'm not taking her to any, just, like the Cinemark. I'm taking her to a nice movie.
Oh, yeah. But, what Studio Movie Girl? Was that where y'all went?
It's similar to that. It's called Rave. But
yeah,
we saw Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Underrated film. It's pretty funny. And
that's a deal stealer.
We went to the movie, and I don't think either one of us were really looking for a relationship, whatever. Something was there. So I was getting ready to go back to spring training for my first time. She was getting ready to go back to school. So we were like, we like each other, but I don't know if it's going to work. And then anyways, she goes to Georgia back to school. She played Division I volleyball, humble brag, in Georgia.
Crushed it.
She's a beast. And so she left, and I was like, I'm not going to let this one get away, pretty much. I'm like, I got something here. So I went.
I got to go get her.
I flew out there, a week maybe after she left. I went to her, and we hung out for a day or two, and I asked her to be my girlfriend. And then the rest is history, man. We got engaged in December 2019. And we got engaged.
Where'd you do the engagement?
Colorado.
Yeah,
Breckenridge, Colorado. Yeah,
give me that. How did it go down? Give me the rundown. Give me the step by step, play by play.
All right, play by play. Took her on a romantic one-horse open sleigh ride in the mountains. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So she's a huge Christmas freak. Anything about Christmas, she loves. Like her whole family loves everything.
Señor Samuel, the Santa Claus, coming through town with a sleigh.
Wait till this beer gets white, then she'll really like me.
That's a game changer.
Anyways, one horse open sleigh. I selected the romantic package, the bottle of champagne, some blankies or whatever, and I hired a photographer to wait out there. And it was like in December in Breckenridge, so it was really freaking cold. It was 4 degrees that day. Anyways, the sleigh driver had some spiel about, the horse is tired. We got to rest. Why don't you go over there? It's like a really pretty area. I had this set up with the photographer. We're going to walk out there, whatever. And so I thought it was going to be like 45 minutes, an hour into the ride, because it's a freaking huge horse. I'm not going to get tired. It was like 4 minutes into the ride. She stops, and I wasn't prepared at all. I thought I was going to have a lot of time. She said the horse is tired, and so I think Kat knew something was up. But anyways, we walked over to the mark that we're supposed to go to. Proposed in the snow.
Was the horse actually tired?
No chance.
No chance.
It's a beast. It's not fazed by human weight. But
absolutely,
it worked. She said yes, man, and the rest is history. We're getting married December 12th of this year. God willing, there's no corona nonsense going on. So, man, it's been awesome.
Brother, so happy for you. You've got an amazing girl. Love her to death. Love her to death. She's part of the family.
She's the goat. Thank you.
She's great, and it's going to be a damn good time at the wedding.
Yeah, it is. Hey, are you ready for the bachelor party?
Brother, I'm ready and I'm fired up.
Oh.
I heard the news.
We're going to go get some fish.
Some big boys.
Some big boys, have a fish fry. I think we're going to do a little fishing tournament, man. We're going to make T-shirts. You want to be on my team if you want to win, just letting you know.
Oh, yeah, I'm on your team, brother.
Okay.
I'm on your team, no doubt. We're putting that – this is if you're hearing this a few months from now, this is me confirming that me and Sam, same fishing team.
We're going to have some people mad about this one, but, hey, it's on the air. It's live, so there's no going back now, boys and girls.
It's live, and we're going to bring in the big boys. Simple as that. But Matagorda Bay, right?
Matagorda Bay, Texas. If you haven't been there, should. It's heaven on earth.
So I've never been, but Sam has been quite a few times. I know quite a few of the squad's been too. So it's a beautiful kind of oasis-like area, tons of fish. What is Matagorda? Give me the preview.
So Matagorda Bay, I mean,
excited.
It's not going to be like the prettiest sight you've ever seen in your life. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. It's not like your clear blue waters of Cancun or anything like that. But my uncle has a house down there, and he's got a boat, and we're going to go out there. And
love your uncle.
Uncle Mike. Hey, if anyone knows Uncle Mike,
shout out Uncle
you know
Mike.
What we're talking about. I hope Uncle Mike is listening. Probably not.
Oh, we got to make sure Uncle Mike listens.
Yeah.
I had a great time hanging out with him last time.
Yeah. He's my dad's brother, and he's just like a good time to hang out with. Man, he's so much fun. He's hilarious.
Is.
He's the crazy uncle in a good way. But so Matagorda has got a house on there. It's a huge bay in the Gulf of Mexico. You can barely see the other side of it, but it's about 5-6 feet deep at its deepest part. So you can pretty much wade fish the whole thing.
Wow.
You know, you catch. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but it's a little sketch at times because it gets a little deep, and you don't want the water to get in the waders because then that's how you drown. But you catch redfish, you catch speckled trout, flounder, and then the great thing about saltwater fishing is you never really know what you're going to catch. Stingrays, I've seen sharks, different
all types of
fish,
crazy shit.
Yeah, and then man, if it's big enough, we throw it in the cooler, bring it back to the house, have a good old fish fry, and some cold beers for the boys.
Oh, delicious.
And fish doesn't taste better than when you catch it yourself, man. So it's just like the best time ever. We'll smoke some cigars. We'll just bro out.
Can we go this weekend?
I'm so excited.
That's true. Well,
hey, you have Uncle Mike's number. You can hit him up. Maybe. I mean, he loves you.
Maybe I'll give Uncle Mike a shout. We did hit it off that first time we kicked it.
You might be his son, honestly.
Well, given that my dad and I kind of look very alike, and I got the same name as him. Maybe not, but me and Uncle Mike do have a lot in common.
Yeah, you guys are alike. Let's put it that way.
We see eye to eye on a lot of good things.
Yeah.
Brother Samuel, I think we should get on to one of my favorite parts of the Hamm Planet podcast. And this is the, as per tradition, Hamm Planet podcast, Would You Rathers. So, as always, I let the guests know. Might get a little crazy, might get a little weird, might get a little deep, might get a little goofy, might get a little stupid. I honestly don't know. It could be crazy. But most importantly, they're going to be hilarious. And there's only one rule, Señor. It's that you got to answer them. You got to choose one option.
That's pretty easy. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll answer too.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Fire 'em at me, brother.
Would you rather experience the beginning of planet Earth or the end of planet Earth?
Ooh,
And
well,
this one thing I gotta preface: anything outside of the question is up to your interpretation. So just you can't.
I would say, as a Christian man,
Yeah.
the end of planet Earth, while I believe that I'm going to go to heaven, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of other bad stuff going on.
I could imagine.
So I would have to say the beginning of time, the beginning of the Earth, because then you get to see freaking Adam and Eve. You get to see the world being created.
Adam and Eve.
Animals.
I bet they were having a great time.
Yeah, maybe you could pitch in a good word with the big man upstairs. Create an extra animal or two. You can customize one.
You could do all types of stuff, honestly. If you were one of those first few people, I bet God was like, yo, you are the foundation of humanity. What do we want to do?
Maybe throw an idea in my ear. It might be what he say. So I think I would be there for
absolutely.
that. Yeah, that sounds kind of cool.
I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. Hold on. Still looking for question number 2.
You had it somewhere in there. I know.
I had it, but then I read it, and I'd rather not. So, would you rather, Señor Sam, live in an amusement park or a zoo for the rest of your life?
I would say an amusement park for sure. That's an easy one because, you got things that want to kill and eat you in a zoo. You got things that poop in a zoo. It's going to stink. And amusement park, if you live there, you have access to all the rides all the time. And I just think that'd be fun. I'm a huge roller coaster guy. I'm not scared of heights.
What's your favorite?
I do love animals. The Titan at Six Flags over Texas.
I've never done the Titan. I need to.
Dude, it's crazy. It's so the
it's
big drop is so steep.
Oh my God. Every time I watch it happen, I'm just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Big cow. Big old cow.
That's what I say too. Even when I'm on it, I just scream, holy cow. And there's a part when you get to the bottom, you go underground under this like little cement tunnel, and it looks like it's going to take your head off. So you feel like you're just plunging to death, but you live. So it's really fun.
It's intense.
Yeah.
I need to do it.
That, I like the Texas Giant because it's wooden.
It is a classic.
Historic. It's got the name Texas in it. I love Texas through and through. So, you can't go wrong with that one either. It's a little herky-jerky, but.
Yeah, it originally, when it was built, was the biggest roller coaster in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I believe it's the steepest. Last I heard.
Is it?
The steepest drop. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely pretty scary because you don't know if the old wood might jundle and wundle around on you when you're
jundle. Yeah, and you got to watch out for termites. There's, we got a termite problem in Texas, so they get hungry. Could be your last.
Texas Giants standing on its last leg, but more power to you if you hop on that thing. I got to do it though. It's kind of like a rite of passage.
Yeah, do it sooner than later because who knows what's going on with that wood, man.
Señor Samuel. Question number 3 on the Would You Rather Hamm Planet specials. Señor, would you rather only be able to speak in rhyme or only be able to speak in alliteration?
I do like alliteration.
I'm a huge alliteration guy. Maybe I overdo it, but I love it.
There's only so much you can say with either one.
You definitely got more options with alliteration. Alliteration is honestly insane. You can find any word that kind of fits what you're trying to say, at least to a pretty close degree.
I'm a huge fan of alliteration, and I think if you only spoke in rhyme, it would just annoy the crap out of people. I know for me, I would get really annoyed, probably punch someone in the face. So I'm going to go with alliteration, brother.
Same, brother. Hanging out with a rhymer would be like hanging out with Malibu's Most Wanted 24/7. Which, love Malibu, but come on.
It would be way too much, man. I would just get really fed up with that. I think that's an easy one.
Yeah. All right, brother. Moving right along. Would you rather lose all of your teeth or lose all of your hair?
Okay. Does all of the hair mean just the hair like on the top of my head, or like all this, eyebrows? What we got? toe hair?
According to the traditional rules, it's up to interpretation, but I would assume it's only your hair.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to assume that it's the hair on my head up here. I'm going to say that one for sure, because there's a lot of bald people in this world that are super successful. I would give you $100 if you can show me a person that's super successful in this world that has 0 teeth. And I mean, veneers are always an option, but
you got a damn good point there, Sam. I think you might be onto something.
But in this scenario, I would like to assume you can't, like, if you lose your hair, you can't put on Rogaine. If you lose your teeth, you probably can't put on veneers. So let's go with the hair. That's an easy one, Señor. Give me a hard one.
Absolutely would do hair as well, because teeth are a very valuable asset, and a beautiful smile is a huge part of who you are and how people see your first impression. And a beautiful smile speaks volumes to who you are. And if you need someone to take care of your beautiful smile, you can always go see the wonderful Dr. Sandy Hamm, who's keeping Texans smiling. And she's the dentist of not only my smile, but also good old Sam Hilliard's.
Right here. This is her work.
Those pearly whites.
If I didn't give a shout out to Sandy Hamm, Peter's mother, she's been my dentist for as long as I can remember, since she was back in Arlington. She's moved to Mansfield now, but man, if you want some quality work done in her teeth from a professional, not only a professional, but just a kind woman, just a loving woman.
The best in the biz.
She's the one for you. She's the best in the biz. I mean, we got to be completely honest. She's the best. Shout out Sandy Hamm.
Shout out Sandy Hamm. Amazing woman. Amazing dentist. All right, brother Sam. Moving right along. Let's see if we can get a pretty hard one. Let's see.
These aren't loaded up already? You're just kind of.
We do have them loaded up, but we have a lot loaded up.
Okay.
I need to categorize them into like intense, funny, thought-provoking, comedic. I don't know. Greasy would definitely be a category.
Greasy.
Yeah, there's some of these get a little greasy. Here we go. Would you rather stub all of your toes once a week for the rest of your life? Every week, you kick the shit out of something with both your feet and you stub all your toes. Or you lose one finger right now for the rest of your life, and you can choose it. Finger of your choice.
You lose one finger right now for the rest of your life?
Yep.
What does that mean?
You could say like, all right.
Okay. You just lose one. And the other question is what now?
You would stub all of your toes once a week.
I think I go with one finger, man. People get by like that. I mean, you don't need all your fingers. You need your thumbs, but you can lose like a ring finger or something.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that still are extremely productive and missing parts of their fingers, their whole finger. Right. Stubbing your toes sucks. And ladies and gents, your boys, Señor Samuel and Señor Pedro are back in action. Had to hit the loo. Had to hit the loo, Señor. Yeah. And we enjoyed the Would You Rathers.
So much fun.
There's some on the internet that are just a little too much. Not gonna lie, but
they can get raunchy.
I like it. I think it's. Yeah. I think they're good to at least read. Good to know that you're not the person who's writing that insane shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Anyways, I absolutely want to get into a essential fond memory that Samuel and I share, and that is the birth and the beginning of a tradition and a phrase that both Samuel and I use on a regular basis when we speak to each other. If you know me, you probably know that I've got a lot of words that I utilize frequently. Chief, brother, Ferda, good vibes, get her going, fire me up. All types of little short phrases. Absolutely fantastic. Which, if you're listening to the podcast, I hope you like those words because they're probably going to keep being on the podcast.
You're going to hear them a lot.
You absolutely will hear them a lot. Ferda. Another word you will also hear is the legendary Señor. Señor. And the Señor, sure, we do live in Texas, and a lot of Hispanic heritage is mixed into our culture, but this phrase came into our life in a different way. It took a different path. And let's go ahead and turn back the clocks to
hilarious.
To 2009.
I think it was
2009.
2008.
2009 or 2008. Over a decade ago. Pretty long time ago.
For sure.
It's a lot of years, a lot of days, a lot of hours. And this phrase has survived and persevered and thrives. So the Señor came to life on one brisk summer night in Mansfield, Texas. Myself, Samuel Hilliard, and my beloved cousin, the one and only Hunter Graham, were having a bro night. We were all in high school. We're young gun, 16-year-olds, super happy to see each other. And you know, I don't think we had seen each other in a while at that point. And
I think you guys just got back from Culver.
Yeah, I had just gotten back from my freshman year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Hunter went the 3 summers before. But anyways, so we are having a good old sleepover at Hunter's house, having a boys' night, you know, catching up, talking about all the nonsense that a 16-year-old fella talks about with the boys. And, you know, the midnight hour strikes. It's pretty dark outside, so I guess it's time to go lay down and go to bed. Nope. Absolutely not, if you ask me. And if you ask Sam that evening, he wasn't about it either. He didn't want the night to end. We were having a good time.
Yeah.
But my beloved cousin, Hunter, he was a sleepy bear. He had himself a long day. I think he had mowed the lawn that day, which it was dead in the middle of summer. So
if anything makes Hunter tired, man, it's mowing the lawn. We all know that. We picked a bad night for this.
It takes a lot to mow a lawn in the middle of the Texas heat. But anyway, so we're all having a great night. And Hunter gets a little sleepy. And he says, boys, I'm going to bed. So me and Sam as guests were like, okay. Fine, I guess we'll sit on these love sack chairs on the ground near your bed and maybe we'll fall asleep, but probably not. So lights are off. The three boys chilling, posted up in the room. Hunter's trying to sleep. And then I yell, play tap, Señor! And then Samuel quickly responds with an enthusiasm like none other and says, Señor, play taps! And then, from that moment on, a butterfly effect occurred where Sam and I were going back and forth saying, play taps, Señor, Señor, play taps. Come on, Señor, play taps. And if you don't know what taps is, and if you're wondering, what the hell is Pete saying right now? Taps is a traditional military song that they play when, well, they play it at a lot of things, but it's played when, military forces are going to bed. It's played at ceremonies. It's played at military schools, which is where I heard it. And it was a song that was played every night on the trumpet before I would go to bed at Culver. So this was kind of like my bedtime story at the time. Sam, it wasn't his bedtime story, but Sam was my boy, and Sam was fired up, and Sam was on the same.
I think I was just. I knew that it was annoying the shit out of Hunter, and I'm always on. I'm on board for that. So I'm on board for anything like that. So yeah. I think that's the primary reason why I was joining in with Pete.
Yeah,
but,
someone's got to do it.
It was just fun. It was fun to say, Señor, play taps. So we were screaming it at him, and he was hating it. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was spot on. Hunter was not having it. Hunter, again, was a sleepy bear. And here he has two wild hooligans yelling, Señor, play taps. So Señor was probably uttered about 100 times within a 10-minute span. And you guessed it.
Yeah, at least.
We did not fail. Taps was played. And Hunter loved it. And I loved it. And so did Sam. And that night was the birth of the beautiful word, or the beautiful usage of Señor. And it still lives on and thrives to this day. And it's still utilized all the time when we talk. And I use it with other people too. But we are the OG Señors, Señor.
Yeah, man, we are. And, man, for me, it's just like every time I tell that story, it always sounds funnier in my head than how it actually sounds to people when I tell it to them. Because it's kind of one of those things you definitely had to be there. They're like,
oh, yeah, definitely.
They're like, what are you talking about? So it was really funny because we like to mess with Hunter. We like to F with Hunter when he's sleepy. And it's really funny when he's grumpy and he like yells at us. And you know that firsthand because he yelled at you a lot.
It's like poking a grizzly bear.
Yeah, it's like poking a grizzly bear. And man, but he joined in because he knew something special was afoot. And needless to say, the next day we changed our Instagram handles, we changed our Twitter handles to Señor. And my Instagram name still to this day is Señor Samuelson. And no one understands what it means. I get questions about it all the time. People call me Señor all the time just because of my Instagram. And every time I hear it, I just think back about that fateful night in August, I believe it was. And it's just
legendary night.
People don't understand, but it was one of the best nights of my life for whatever reason.
It was a night for the books. And ladies
Really
and
was.
gents, if you are listening right now still, you got to know that you have just been tapped in to a secret that is very sacred, and that is the secret
society.
the secret society of the sacred Señors. You now have seen the truth. So, Señor Samuelson, you know the truth. You know how the Señor came to life. And give Señor Samuelson, a follow on good old Insta. Ferda.
Follow me. It's easy.
Gotta do it. Brother, one thing I definitely wanted to touch on is, brother, you know you're like family to me and love your family like it's family to me. And I know that both your mom and dad have been doing a lot of great things lately for LAS and research. And I would love for you to just kind of dive into that for a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, my father was diagnosed with ALS.
Yep.
In the late winter, I guess it was in like February of 2018. So, it was just a really tough time for my family and me. And, cause I mean, if
Absolutely.
you know my dad, I know you do. He's kind of like a guy who is very physically
amazing
prominent.
man. Oh yeah.
He's an amazing man. He's very driven, and he works out every day really early in the morning, and he's just kind of like a badass, right? So,
total badass.
And he's an orthopedic surgeon, or he was an orthopedic surgeon, and he is just a great man, in my opinion, and I believe in the opinion of many other people. So
one of the best men I know.
Thank you. And he was diagnosed in 2018 at the beginning of the year, and it was very hard for me to talk about at first, but as time went on, I kind of realized, hey, you're not doing any good by just keeping it inside. It's not about you, it's about your dad, and it's about the ALS community and people who are suffering from it.
100%.
Man, it's just so I realized it would be more beneficial for me to talk about it. And that's the number one thing for a while there that reporters and things like that wanted to ask me about. So it was tough, but I kind of had to just suck it up and talk about it. And so my family created a organization called Team Hilliard, and basically we have a Twitter and Instagram. It's called Team Hilliard, and there's a link that you can go to our website, and you can donate. You can buy merchandise. You can do all this stuff. All the proceeds go to ALS research, because ALS, it's not like cancer. It's a disease that is highly underfunded. There's no cure like cancer, but it's an underfunded disease that doesn't receive the same amount of attention. I mean, they both deserve great amounts, but so basically, there's hope. There is a great amount of hope that there's going to be a cure in the near future. But if you can go to a social media, Instagram or Twitter, Team Hilliard, click on the link, and it'll take you there. You can buy a shirt with my silhouette hitting a baseball on it.
It's a damn good shirt.
But yeah, so all the proceeds will go to ALS research, and it just means a lot to me and my family. Even if you just go check it out, it would mean a great deal if you donated too. But it just means a lot.
Absolutely.
How much support that we've got, not only from you and Hamms and Sandy, and but just from everybody in our community, in our circle. You really realize who actually cares and how close you are with people whenever things like this, happen to you. So my dad is an extreme role model for me. The way he's handled it is extremely just inspirational. And man, it's been tough on the family, but the way that he's handled it has made it a lot easier. And just shout out to my dad, because he's my role model, and he's the best. So there you go.
Amen to that, brother. I couldn't say it enough. The Hilliard family is has always and continues to do such great things, and they're really helping lead the way with ALS research and, you know, finding a cure and doing a lot of great things within that community. And donate, get your shirt, show some love, and give Team Hilliard a follow and definitely connect with them. And I highly encourage you to see how maybe you can contribute, because if you know about ALS, or if you know someone who's had ALS, which there are, it is a rare disease, but a lot of people around the world do know people who are affected by it. It's something that deserves a lot of attention, and I absolutely love to see Team Hilliard leading the way. And I appreciate you touching on that, brother. Definitely appreciate it big time.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Señor, I got to tell you, I'm hyped for Matagorda Bay. And I know we're going to be reeling in the big ones. And
if you're with me, we will.
Yeah, I'm already on your team. As confirmed earlier in the podcast, I've reserved bachelor party rights to being on Sam's team.
You better talk to your cousin, the best man. He's setting that shit up.
Oh, okay. I got to run it by him.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can do that.
I'm the groom, so, I mean, I get final say. But, yeah, I'd say you're pretty good. You're safe.
We'll make it happen, Señor.
Yeah.
Señor, I got to say that the podcast episode today was a special one. Always love shooting the breeze with you, brother. And it's a beautiful thing to see, like, you know, we were shooting the breeze with each other when we were 8 years old. And here we are, 25-year-old men. You're in the pros. I'm running a business. We're getting after it. Great things are happening, and just a lot of good shit in our lives. And always an honor speaking to you.
Hey, just once again, I want to say thank you so much for having me on. Dude, like you said, it just feels right, feels normal that we're sitting here just shooting the breeze, as you say. We've been doing it for years now, man. So I really hope I get to come on again. And I know next time I do, it's going to be popping off by then, dude. So thanks again, Señor. And hey,
I love it, brother. Brother, much love. And ladies and gents, if you really enjoyed today's podcast, if you really love all the stories and the wisdom and the reflections and the Señors that me and Sam shared, do us a favor. Share this podcast with your best friend, with your mom, with your dad, with anyone who really needs a little bit of good vibes in their life, because I believe no one can overdose on the good vibes. And I appreciate you spending some time with us. Hope we provided you some value in one way or another. And as always, keep the good vibes coming. Remember to connect with Sam. Find him on Instagram at Señor Samuelson. And you toss in Sam Hilliard into Google, you're probably going to find him. Go Rockies Nation. Hamm Planet Podcast. Signing off. Take it easy.